Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. My name is Arya Natural Rhijn, and I'm a life and business success mentor to female entrepreneurs and small business owners who are successful but who want to take back control of their life because their career or business has completely taken over. At the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show today, it is my privilege to be interviewing Lina Hogg. Lina started her business Arya Natural Ltd in 2014 with her daughter, with a core purpose of supporting the work of Women for Women International, a charity that operates in war-torn countries, helping women rebuild their lives. Lina is passionate about seeing girls and women reach their full potential so that they be able to contribute to the economy and the communities they live in. This sounds like music to my ears. I love that, Lina. Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. How are you?
I am very well. Thank you so much, Agnes, for having me on your show.
I'm very pleased to have you. When we met a few weeks ago, it was fairly brief, but the little bit that I had heard about you, I definitely knew that I wanted to have you on the show. The type of things that you are doing, and in particular, the why you are doing it, is really something that resonates with me. So tell us more about you, maybe a little bit about your background before you started Arya, because that's 2014. So maybe you want to give us a little more.
Yeah, sure. I've been running another successful business for the last 15 years, which has nothing to do with candles or natural products. It's an HR outsourcing service. And I now have a managing director in place for my other company. And so it's given me time to then seek another challenge, I suppose. And I just feel so privileged and so blessed that I'm working with my daughter, who's also my best friend.
Oh, that's amazing.
It is, and I couldn't be happier. I couldn't feel more gratitude. And, excuse me, not only that, that I'm actually following a very core purpose within the business to help a charity and work with a charity that I have such passion for. So overall, I really do feel blessed that I've been given this opportunity. And it all really started with coming back from a holiday, a power cut, end of September. It's getting cold in the UK by then. And just sort of messing around with old candles or melting them down and seeing if we could make new ones from them. And really that kind of led to, well, what are candles made of? How do you get a wick? We didn't know anything. And so the moment we had power back and we had the internet, we started looking at the sort of wax that's normally used. And when we discovered that a lot of the candles are made with paraffin wax, we decided that as serious kind of environmentalists, that's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to find a sustainable source of wax.
So Lina, if I may interrupt you, so it all started by accident, quote unquote. I don't believe in accidents, but and so by playing with it, you immediately had that idea of, hey, let's do something with it.
Almost, because once we found out more about it, we thought actually, it really lends itself to our combined creativity and our let's have a go attitude. Let's just do it, see what happens. Let's have a target of getting some candles into a craft fair for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And so one thing led to another, and what we didn't realise at that time was that candle making is quite a science and an art form. And those people out there who are candle makers will know exactly what I mean. And so once we discovered that there is a sustainable source of wax, and that was soya wax, we thought, right, okay, let's find out where we can get this from, and we got some wax. And then we researched on the type of wicks to use to go with natural wax, which is different, by the way, to the wicks you might use for paraffin. And so a lot of time was spent in experimenting and working out the variants that you get with wax, wick, size of the container, the diameter of the container, because you have to get a different size of wick to go with a different type of wax and the diameter of the container. And so a lot of experimenting, a lot of disasters, but we weren't going to give up. We just had this passion to say, right, we can do this. We're not the type of people to just give up at the drop of a hat. And it was a lot of fun and a lot of frustrations. However, we got that sorted out, and of course the variants changed the moment you added a fragrance. So it was always going back to square one, figuring it all out and working it. But
how much time has that process taken you?
Well, we probably worked at it solidly for a month to work out what we could do, all the problems that you can have with soy wax, and that it doesn't adhere to perhaps glass as well as you would like it to. And it was a challenging and exciting process, all combined together. And by 12th of November, we registered a company, and it was called Arya Natural Ltd. And of course, in this period of experimenting, we knew that their social giving was going to be a core part of the business. And it is very much about, and I've always been a believer in that business has a lot of power to do good, and that it cannot always be about the bottom line. It cannot always be about the greatest amount of profits, regardless of the damage you do to the ecosystem, to social lives, to the people that you are responsible for. So all of that put together, and being a passionate follower of Women for Women International, and having done charity work and fundraising for them in the past in 2011, it really felt like, as a mother and daughter team, helping other women, other mothers and daughters.
I love it.
A perfect blend for us, and it filled our passion. So running a business and filling our passion with being mindful of our environment and social giving, it is just such a wonderful blend. And we did get a product together. We did get a name sorted out for the company, Arya. And
why Arya? Is there a specific meaning to it?
Oh, okay. Arya is a Sanskrit word meaning pure and precious. And so it's pure ingredients and precious earth. And it also means noble, which means noble intentions. And all of that put together, it kind of just
beautiful. Beautiful.
And so, yes, we did our Christmas craft fair. We weren't entirely happy with our range, the design, and so we spent a lot of time after Christmas in redesigning and redeveloping the product. And we started using from tin containers to glass jars for that extra luxurious feel.
Lina, definitely at that stage, where were you doing that? In the back of your kitchen, or?
Yeah, in our kitchen. True cottage industry style. And it's just such a lot of fun. But also, it's like in any business, there are frustrating moments when you're thinking, I can't get this to work. I can't get people to be as engaged as I would like them to be. But you have to continue to persevere. If you believe in something enough, you have to continue, because you're letting yourself down and you're letting your core purpose down as well.
Have you had moments where you were thinking of giving up, or did you focus on that purpose? And
there were moments when we were just so frustrated, but there was never a moment where we said, right, okay, I give up. I can't do this. There wasn't. We would be pulling our hair out and going, right, what do we do now? Let's just figure this out. Let's just step back a little bit. And so, because we so believe in it, that giving up is not an option.
Yeah. Would you say that the fact that you were the two of you together has helped? I mean, I suppose it has helped, but would you imagine that if you were doing that on your own, that maybe things would have turned out differently?
Quite possibly. Yeah, because when you're doing this with somebody who's close to you, somebody you love, you respect, and work well together, doesn't mean we don't have our disagreements, but in the main, we support each other, and so definitely it does make sense, and it has helped, so that when I had down moments, Jenny would be there to pick me up, and when she's feeling down, I'm there to support her. And it's so, I think it's particularly now, I may be generalising, but for women, I think to have that support network seems to be very important.
Yeah, definitely.
And so having also run a women's networking group in Suffolk, I understand the dynamics of working with other women. And the strength in that, when we believe wholeheartedly that we can support each other instead of being rivals.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you know that with me, you're preaching to the converted. That's why I love the Athena network, and I have made my motto for Athena Central London, the quote that says, behind every successful woman is a tribe of successful women who have her back. I don't believe in women competing. I believe in women collaborating. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And we are very much alike in our values and beliefs, and that's why it works. And we know that it's got to be, everything we do has got to be ethical. And so one of our values, and one of the statements we made early on, was that if there is anything that we won't do anything that overrides, even though the monetary gains might be high, we will not damage our sense of values and our beliefs. And so, monetary matters, money matters, profit matters, so that you can continue your business. But you cannot do it at the expense of disrespecting your own values and beliefs. So it's very much a core part of the business, and candles bring such light and joy to people, and the scent, and scent itself is a kind of brings back memories. And so
all of what you're saying is exactly why I started by saying this is music to my ears, because when I started my business, I started with the corporate world, but once I decided no longer to work with the corporate world and choose entrepreneurs instead, or women who want to change career to a business, one of the things that I was focusing on was just, the personal branding. So it was the success, if you prefer. Where now I'm clearly saying that no, success is not everything. And in particular, money is not everything. So success, whatever that means to you, because obviously from one person to the other, it's not necessarily the same. But I really focus on working with women who they're successful, but they don't want just success. That's not enough. They want more in their life. They want a sense of purpose, and they want to know and be true to their values, and respect themselves also in the process, which is quite often forgotten with women. So and I love that you describe the candles as being, in essence, that feminine touch, because it has everything to do also with the whole self-care part world, that's so beautiful for a woman, and that she doesn't really allow her to be in quite often. I love it.
Can I talk a bit about the charity? Because
of course.
You know, Women for Women International has been around for well over 20 years.
Yeah.
And we work with Women for Women International UK, because it's actually based in the US. And they work with the most marginalised women in either war-torn countries currently or former war-torn countries. And essentially what we tend to find is that it's the men who decide to go to war, and it's the women and the children who suffer the most.
Yeah.
Not only that, they're the ones who are used as weapons of war. And so it fills my heart, and it angers me as well that this still happens, and women are treated the most appallingly. And so what the program does is, once there is a sponsor, and you have to have a sponsor, the woman, the sister, has an opportunity to go on a 1-year life-changing program where she will find companionship. She will find that there are other women with similar stories, that she's not the only one. She's not the only one. And
so important,
not isolated. And so she learns about health, how to look after the health of her family, about family planning, about learning a skill, so that depending on the country that it's in, it might be farming, learning about agriculture, learning to sew, and basic business skills, as well as the importance of creating a network around you, and having a voice in your community so that you can influence what's happening. And you know as well as I do that when women are empowered and when they're working together, the impact is huge. It's far-reaching. And so far, I'm so proud to say, since 2014, we have sponsored 7 sisters as far away as Afghanistan, South Sudan, and Rwanda. And so every time anyone buys an Arya candle, they know that they are part of a ripple. They've started a ripple that has far-reaching impact. It's not just a candle.
Yeah, no, far more than that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's something far more than just that. And that's what, drives us, that we're making a change. And everybody can. You can do your little bit. Everybody can do their little bit.
It's all about, as you say, ripple, role modeling and ripple effect. So, and women do tend to believe that whatever happens to them, they're the only ones. But when they start sharing the story, then they can start realizing that no, they're not the only ones. I mean, we all have our journey, and we all have life standing in the way. And of course, in particular for women like that, we are very lucky here with our own journey to experience a fairly good life, whatever the journey is, where women like that, of course, they come from far deeper, in fact, than
exactly.
So reconstructing. I love what you're describing. It's a beautiful program. I had heard of them, but wasn't aware of that specific program. It's really, I will look into it like that a lot.
Please do. I would encourage anyone, and you can start the sponsoring for as little as £22 a month. and you just sign up for the whole year. And so you're looking at about £300 a year. And so for a business, that is, as long as we're doing well, we can afford that.
Of course.
And so being successful means that, and profitable means that we can sponsor more women. We can create a living for ourselves, but we also be doing good. And we hope so dearly that next year, Jenny and I will both be able to visit Rwanda and visit some of the sisters that we have sponsored and are currently sponsoring. And that would just mean the world, really. And so we're at a point where we're not quite 2 years old yet. And so come this November, that will be our second anniversary. Come November, we are going to be looking for investors for equity. And there is a platform that we're going to go on, an electronic platform called Seedrs, SEEDRS. And anybody who's interested can go and invest for as little as £10, £20, whatever that you can afford, and fills your passion as well. It means that you have a stake in our business. And that means...
Is it already online, or have you started it already?
No, it hasn't started. It will be ready come end of October. So if anybody's interested, please go and sign up for our newsletter, because that would be the best way to find out when we're going to be actually on the Seedrs platform. And you can have a look at the video that we've made for it. And so we're going to be asking friends and family initially, and then we're looking for those investors who want to invest 10, 20, 30,000 pounds with equity involved. And so I think that it's a wonderful way of being involved in something we're doing and buy into our passion.
It doesn't show at all that you're passionate. So it's very interesting, because it's a quite I would say different story than what I usually hear on the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, because here we're not talking about someone who's had a dream since she was a child, or someone who had to invent herself because life stood in the way. So here it's just an idea that came up and that has been fed by the thought and the ideas and the purpose, etc., of two women who happen on top of it to be very close friend, but mother and daughter. I love the idea, by the way. I would love to do something like that with my daughter. It's a little bit early yet, but I do have a very good relationship with her as well. And
you'll know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely. I could really see that something like that happening in a few years. I have no doubt that it's possible. And so it's this. By learning, it's trial and error, and turning it into a business, but on top of it, keeping to that idea, because you know the why you are doing it, and that's so incredibly important. The core of personal branding is the why. People tend to go for the branding, just the colors and the logo and the fancy stuff. But if you're not connected to your purpose, to the why that is important to you, I always say one day or the other there will be a boomerang effect. So something won't work, and you will be back at square one somehow. So it's a really beautiful story. And so give us your website so that people can indeed register for your newsletter and therefore be informed of the further steps.
Yes, absolutely. And just to add that, we have rebranded, and so we've got a super duper product coming out that everybody's going to love. We love it. We worked very hard on it, And our website is www.aryacandles, ARYA, candles.com. And we have Facebook, we have Twitter, Instagram, you name it. Jenny's made it all happen. The current website has been built by Jenny. She's the master of everything online and technology. And so I can't thank her enough for being my business partner.
Excellent. And so the rebrand, is your website already rebranded, or?
No, once we get we've got the designs, and we're going to initially have, for the new product, we're going to have 9 products made.
Yeah.
And then with the investment, we're going to be able to do a new website.
Okay.
A proper e-commerce website.
Yeah.
And what's so great is that we've had orders from Sweden and France and South Korea and USA, because I think that it's the people for whom they appreciate and they're in touch with the purpose and love the idea of what we're doing.
Yeah, people will buy from you, or people who will resonate with what you do and the why you do it. Absolutely. Sorry.
You're right.
So, if I rewind a little bit, given the show is The Woman Who Makes Things Happen, what would you describe in that journey so far has been your biggest challenges, and how have you been facing them?
Biggest challenges is initially the initial challenge was just amazing, because the whole science of candle making was something we had just simply not even considered, didn't have a clue. And so it was that dogged determination to hang in there and keep going, work it out. Come on, we're bright enough to work through this. Having self-belief is critical. Having each other is critical. And then having the volume of sales, because what we really want to do is also connect with corporate organizations who want to give purposeful gifts to their clients, to their employees, to say thank you. And by the way, we bought enough quantity to be able to sponsor a woman. And for corporate social responsibility purposes, that is a fantastic story.
Absolutely.
And so engaging with corporate clients, we've had 2 corporate clients so far, is an ongoing challenge. And we're not giving up on that. So if there are corporates out there, please connect with us. Think about buying our candles as gifts, so that you can feel really good about buying a gift that also gives back. The funding, I've invested an awful lot of money already. And so always continue to have that belief that no matter how things might not be going or moving as quickly as you would like it.
Yeah, that's another one.
Exactly. No matter, we all want to be successful yesterday, and it doesn't happen overnight. And so, be tenacious, have that conviction, and hang in there. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're not 2 years old yet. We can't even think about giving up. No way.
Beautiful. So to bounce back on what you were saying about, because in your case, of course, what is particular is the fact that you have a partner, which is not the case for everyone.
Exactly.
And so we understand that in that process, having that partner who on top of it happens to be very close family, has been very strong added value, because that's what helps keep the spirit up, I would say, probably. So when that's not the case, when you're alone, and that happens to a lot of entrepreneurs, to a lot of business owners who are starting, it's not the first time that I'm pointing at it, but it's absolutely vital that you find your tribe of women, which in a way you refer to also when you were mentioning networking, because you do need that support, because the people around you are not always the people who will support you. They are either scared for you, so they want to stop you because they're afraid for you, or at the opposite, you're holding a mirror. You are doing something that they would have loved doing, but they've never dared doing. So they're trying to stop you as well. So your environment is not always the most favorable one. So it's extremely important to be to surround yourself with like-minded people. And
absolutely. We've got a list of people who don't believe in us.
I'm not surprised.
It makes us even more determined that we're going to show them.
Let me show you.
We'll show you. And so make that list. Those people who are critical, they're not enthusiastic, they don't really believe in, they think that you're just playing. Well, you don't play with people's lives. And so don't surround yourselves with those people. Make a list, put it in a drawer, and then have people around you. And, I'm sure that the Athena Network is a brilliant way of getting like-minded entrepreneurial women, being your confidants, being your support network, being there when you go, oh gosh, I feel like giving up. It's really tough. And so you need those women around you. And men. I'm not.
We say women, but it doesn't have to be women only. Absolutely, no. I definitely encourage the members of Athena Central London to be part of networks that are mixed gender. Also, it adds something else. So, that really is really important. Yeah. So
we're also looking for a high-profile ambassador for our brand. And so if there's anyone out there who knows anybody who is high profile enough where people go, oh yes, I know him, I know her. Oh yes, I've seen them. I have connections. We would love to have an ambassador. They just need to believe in what we're doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And say that. And we have 2 non-executive directors. They're voluntary, but they're both men. And both great believers in what we're doing. And so I'll never limit myself to being surrounded by women. It's about the people who believe in you.
Absolutely. Lina, I'm getting conscious of time. It's been half an hour already, so we have to come to an end. I've really enjoyed that moment with you, and I'll be glad to see you again. So, good news, you're in London also. I mean, it's not as if you're in another country. So thank you so much. And so for the listeners and viewers of the show, if you too want to give more purpose to your life, if you want to give more meaning to what you do, if you want to be successful, whatever that means to you, but on your own terms, you can book a complimentary discovery consultation with me, to find out how I can help you achieve that. Because my tagline on my business card is, don't let anyone tell you that your dream is impossible. I'm sure you will love that one, Lina. So you can book that a discovery consultation with me by going to my website, and that is agnesvanrijn.com. So the usual 3 W's, and then ANYESVANRHIJN.com. Thank you so much, and have a lovely week. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.